Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. Jake, I can't believe I'm not seeing an absolutely gigantic smile on your face. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. You know, it's been a great weekend for rugby. I feel like what better could be? How could the world be any better than England getting a win over the All Blacks? I mean, it's just that is rugby heritage, true rugby heritage.
Well, all the things that you would probably consider as joyful in your life happened this weekend. For you, England won. For you, the Boks won. For you, Scotland bottled it. And for you, Wales struggled again.
Wow. Yeah. It's been a good weekend. You know? No, on a real note, it was painful in 2024 as an England fan because there's about 6 losses in the last 10 minutes, and it's nice to see England team sort of get over the line now. So it's good. I'm feeling happy. How are you feeling? You know, controversial one for South Africa again.
Yeah, we'll get into the games in a second, right? Because obviously I'll let it out a bit, as we usually do, because that's what we do. We talk shit and we've got fan opinions and we've got emotions, right? We're emotional men. That is what men do. We've got emotions. Anyway, if you like talking about shit when it comes to rugby, please remember to hit that follow button. Now, if you were here last week, you would know that Jake and Aiden had a little bet, right? As you can see, Aiden's not here. Because whoever's team won or whoever's team lost had to do what the most liked comment was. Jake, if I'm not mistaken, the most liked comment was that Aiden had to shave off his eyebrows.
Yeah, where is he? Where is he today? He's not
disappeared.
Yeah, he doesn't want to face the consequences of his team's brutally poor performance. But anyway, yeah. I mean,
would you have done it if England lost? Would you have shaved your eyebrows?
No, but I would have shown my beard, which I'm very, very not fit right now, so it would be a horrendous look. But yeah, Aiden's got to do something. Maybe not his eyebrows, but at least got to get a bad haircut. Maybe not all off, but at least let that some sort of buzz cut.
He's got to get the Henry Pollock haircut.
Yeah, he's got to dye his hair blonde for a week.
Exactly. Just because of obviously he's been the talk of the town, right? He's a good rugby player, very good rugby player. I do enjoy Henry Pollock. I think he's seriously talented. It's the first time that I've seen someone seduce the haka.
The what?
He seduced the haka.
Did he? Yeah, he sort of.
The little lip licking and those type of things, right?
Yeah, no, I want to love it, but it was a bit unsettling watching it, to be honest. You know, it did give you a bit weird feeling, but yeah, it's quite funny though. He's sort of like hyping up the haka. He's going to take it down, and he goes and sits the bench for 60 minutes. But
exactly,
never mind.
I saw the video of George Ford, right? Where George Ford was like, "Yeah, cheers, bro," like kind of winding the Kiwis up, and then saying, "Okay, well, you can handle them. I'm going to chill out on the bench for 60 minutes." Like,
yeah, good luck, guys.
Just a bit of shithousery. But I like it. I like it. The game needs characters. I'm all for that, right? Just like I enjoy the haka. I know there's a lot of people that say there's no more place for the haka. I fucking love the haka. Okay, keep it there. Part of the tradition.
Before we get into the game itself, should we talk more about the haka? What do you think about England fans singing "Swing Low, Sweet Chariot" over the top of it?
No, you have the right to do what you want.
Yeah.
I didn't get what this pity thing is with rugby. I think it's great for TV. I love the haka and I love the tradition of the haka, and obviously it's part of the game. I'm not one of those people that want to get rid of it. I respect your opinion if you want to get rid of it. I just don't agree with it. I can respectfully disagree with it. I don't think that's the end of the world. And the same goes for the people that say, "Oh, you got to shut your mouth when someone's doing the haka." I'm like, no, you can do what you want, right? Like, it's enticing the battle. I don't want to stand still there, whatever. Like, let Henry Pollock lick his lips. Let the people sing, swing low, whatever, Sweet Caroline, I don't care, right? Let people do what they want to, right? Because they're obviously trying everything to get an advantage in the game, right? Like, rugby is such a big mental battle as well. So, whatever. Why is everything so deep? Doesn't need to be. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Well, the New Zealanders love a moan when you insult culture. But, I mean, it's not.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
But what you're doing is you're sort of responding to it. You're not booing it. That's disrespectful. But singing back against it. I think it's
Yeah.
it's two challenges going against each other.
Yeah, that's part of it. And I also think when a guy kicks a goal, you don't need to be quiet. You need to feel like you're in enemy territory. That's it's part of the game. It's really not that deep. If they booed it, that would have been like a bit more disrespectful, right? But singing over it and those type of things, whatever. Like playing Sister Bettina over it, that's a bit of a shithousery, right? Like I didn't agree with our DJ playing Sister Bettina over it, but whatever, right? It is what it is. Okay. Anyway, getting into the game. I committed the ultimate sin for the past 2 weeks by giving England any form of credit. I'll have to do it again because that was a sensational performance. That was so good, especially if you take away the first 10 minutes where New Zealand scored twice. That fight back, you've been calling George fraud. Not fraud. I've been calling him George fraud.
Yeah.
I'll give him his flowers. He pulled the strings. Sensational drop goals as well. Nobody better moan about a drop goal. Who doesn't like a drop goal? That's literally what everyone's giving Johnny Wilkinson credit for, right? Obviously, he's a sensational player, but people remember that moment. Dan Carter with the right foot drop goal. You can't be moaning about a drop goal now. Absolutely beautiful. If you think about the criticism that he also received last year, how he's kind of turned the page, you can't really do anything else other than commend it.
Yeah. I mean, he's just been phenomenal, George Ford, as if like all the last year, club and country. And I think it's better when he starts a game, like, you know, he just completely from start to finish has his handprint all over the game. He game manages. Throwing him in the last 10 minutes. Again, he came back from injury as well that game. But yeah, it was a bit unfair to some of the criticism he got last year. But yeah, I mean, some really great kicks. He had a penalty kick sort of near the end of the game in the same moment, same spot as last year where he missed it. And then obviously the drop goals as well. And okay, he nailed them. So yeah, awesome performance from him. But yeah, what would you say? How was the game as a neutral for you, the overall game? How did you see it?
Well, I was at a bachelor's, by the way, so I kind of had to watch the game with one eye, right? If you know what I mean. No, but I thought New Zealand came out of the blocks flying. I actually thought it would have been England coming out of the blocks flying and New Zealand fighting their way back. I obviously backed New Zealand to get it done just because of the recent history. But just after that first two tries, after it went 12-0, I thought England had full control of the game. I thought they had, I wouldn't say the upper hand in the physical battle, but I thought they really matched up well in the physical battle. I thought the defensive lines were absolutely brilliant. I thought how clinical they were in attack, whether it was through the drop goal, the penalty, or the try scored. I thought it was an overall brilliant 70-minute performance by England, excluding that first 10 minutes. And at some point, you just got to say, listen, a team was better than the other team on the day, right? I'm not all of a sudden going to say England's so much better than New Zealand, right? That game could go another way on another day. But that was England's day, and they fully deserved to win that game. And I don't think the scoreline flattered England at all.
I have to disagree with you a little bit. I think England started really well. It's kind of more like 10 to 20 minutes we kind of fell up. Well, no, we didn't even fall apart. We just made some crucial errors. And a better play to New Zealand, as always, they're pretty clinical when they get those opportunities. It was sort of after 10 to 20 minutes we were quite poor. But also, I think we absolutely dominated the Kiwis in the collision. Like defence and attack, it always seemed to be the England sort of forwards getting over the top and winning those battles. So I don't think New Zealand were particularly impressive. And we've just kind of been like giving credit to their forwards all year because they have been quite good. Like they really outmuscled Argentina and gave it to the box, you know, for a game and a half even. But yeah, maybe losing the likes of Fabian Holland was a big blow. Satiti on the bench is a big ball carrier off, but Peter Lakai was unreal. But yeah, I think overall England, they were clearly the better team. I think they were the better team in nearly every aspect of the game. And the one glaring issue was the line out for England. But other than that, the All Blacks didn't look impressive in anything.
What's your thoughts now on Steve Borthwick? Because when he initially came into the role, and you can call a spade, he wasn't impressive at all. I thought the performances were borderline embarrassing, right? Like that loss against Fiji. I'm not taking away from Fiji, but the performance by England weren't good. In the World Cup, I thought you kind of scraped your way until like the semi-final. Should have won the semi-final, right? Like kind of dominated 60 to 65 minutes of that game, and then obviously we switched on. But the way that Scott Borthwick has kind of flipped the script is really commendable. And you can say, yes, it might have been like in an act of desperation, because I thought like his job was on the line for a certain period and he had to change some things. And then he obviously got that famous victory over France, and from there kind of just took off again. There's nothing that I give credit to more than someone that, like, for instance, proves me wrong. Because in the end, I don't think it was far-fetched what I've been saying all this time. But obviously, if you change things and make it work, I'll give you all the credit in the world. And I think he's a great coach at the moment. It looks like there's passion in that English team. Once again, they're fighting for that jersey. They're playing some nice rugby. What's your thoughts on just the turnaround that he's made as a coach?
First of all, I think he's had it really tough. Like, media's been quite unfair on him. I think it's just because his general persona doesn't always give off like charismatic. Like, he's not going to go and attack the media like Rassie will. But he came in like 6 months before World Cup, or 9 months, whatever, and had to turn it around. He's got coming in a new coach. He doesn't play, not worked half his players. He's got to make them perform in the World Cup, and he's 2 minutes getting into a World Cup final. I mean, no, who cares about losing to Fiji in a warm-up game? Ultimately, it's about the World Cup in that year. And then since then, he's had a bit of rotation with his coaches and stuff, and he's now, I think, got the best coaches in every position. He's got the best Premiership defence coach in now. He's got the best Premiership attack coach in, and I think he's now settled on how he wants to play.
He's got the squad depth as well, by the way.
Yeah, he has, and we'll get on to that in a second. But like he's got the style of play, and he's brought in the coaches he wants to implement it, and we're seeing it, and it's working to our strengths as well. You know, that sort of power game, the aerial game, and then we'll build off the sort of silkiness bit off the back of our strengths. But we just, the depth. I mean, the depth came more with Argentina. Obviously, you managed to get a look at players, the likes of Alex Coles, who played today. He was playing in Argentina. Joe Hayes and Baxter at the scrum were immense. They out-scrummaged New Zealand ones, and they're a lot less experienced international level than Fletcher, Newell and de Groot. So that was really promising. You can trust Baxter and Hayes. They are both really good around the park as well. But and then you can bring off those Lions and Genge and Stewart off the back of it. Like, it's really good depth, which is South Africa, the best prop depth in the world. And it's good that England's looking like we're starting to get towards that. And all those props are, in their 20s. So that's pretty nice as well.
How lucky are you not to face the Boks this autumn?
When I say lucky, I know you're trying to just get a click, but on a real note, the players would love to play the best. Lots of fans talking about, why it's a shame England can't play the Boks. I mean, we played them last year, and I think we're due to play you in the summer now because this new Nations Championship, which we could touch on later. But, we don't have to play the Boks every year. We'll play you in a bit.
Might fancy your chances now that you're going to play us with 14 men.
We'll get on to that in a second. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to go to. I wanted to kind of get your perspective on, because obviously the New Zealand media, they're always tough on New Zealand, right? In terms of the standards that they set for the team. At some points, I think they're a bit harsh or whatever. But now, what's your thoughts on some of the New Zealand media and fans calling for Razor to say that they've kind of just seen enough now? He's not going to do the job. They need to move on. Do you kind of put that in the same bracket as the Borthwick one and say he needs more time? Or do you think, listen, he's been there now 2 years and it's not looking like it's progressing?
It's really difficult, I think. It's not quite the same as Borthwick, but it's still really harsh on Robertson. Like, he's won 10 out of 13 games. Well, if he wins against Wales, which he will, it'll be like 10 out of 13 games won this year. So it's not like it's a catastrophe. Like, losing to England away, who are arguably as strong, if not stronger.
That's disastrous.
And then losing to the Boks, lots of New Zealand fans are like, oh, it's the manner we lost it. I mean, they're the better game for the first half, better side, for the first half when they lost. So, like, is it a tactical thing or is it just like an energy thing, a mindset thing? I think maybe New Zealand Rugby should review some of the coaching team and sort of talk to the coaches and Razor and see what they want to do going forward. But I don't think they need to get rid of him yet. You don't need to change the whole thing.
Yeah. Anyway, the main takeaway from that game is obviously you can talk about New Zealand and stuff, but I kind of wanted to focus more on giving credit to England. Like, they don't get a lot of credit, and I know people talk about the ego of the English getting boosted and stuff, but at some points you got to give credit where it's due. I thought it was a very, very good performance. I'm very excited to see the game between Argentina and England. Obviously, England's always got the upper hand, but just in terms of this, they played a sensational game, and I'll give England the credit because that it's due, right? So let's move on to the South African-Italian game. We'll speak about the Irish-Aussie game because there's a couple of things that happened in that Italian game that we obviously need to talk about. Did you see the red card?
Yes.
What's your thoughts on it?
It's just a joke.
It's an utter joke.
What more needs to be said? Like, World Rugby this Autumn Nation Series, they're single-handedly ruining the sport with some of the ridiculous calls they're making on tackles, which are, a bit iffy, but they're not that terrible.
Dude, there's another angle that wasn't shown on TV but got released later on, where it's kind of from the back of Franco Mostert, where you clearly see it's just on the chest and the ball. No head contact whatsoever. There's another freeze frame that I posted on my TikTok as well. You can clearly see, I wouldn't say it's a full wrap or whatever, but the left arm still goes around the body. Yes, he's leading with the shoulder into the guy's guts.
Yeah.
And to say there's no mitigation, right? Whilst he's the second tackler, there's a bit of a wrap on the left arm. You've seen much worse than that. And there's no head contact. And it's a straight red, a permanent red. I said it last week that I'm fine with the French one. It should have been a 20-minute one, but just with the force and stuff, I could see it being a 20-minute red.
Yeah.
This one was unforgivable. I just thought, what am I watching? This is total brain fartness. Like, how can all of those refs come together and make that decision?
Yeah, I just don't understand it. And like lots of people saying, like, it's too much on the refs, that the game's too complicated. Some people say, and the refs can't handle it. Like, I don't think most fans here are struggling to come to an agreement that is not a red. Like, it's barely a yellow. Like, it's not the game's too complicated.
It's nothing.
The refs, like the rules, the refs are just reading them and thinking like it's got to be the harshest thing that's ever happened. Like, someone else said it. Like, you've got to realise that yes, you have to be safe and like you've got to watch out for head contacts and you don't want any, brain injuries ultimately. But this is still an entertainment sport, and that was not a head contact. And you've got to speed up the process and actually, it's a contact sport. That's just ridiculous.
Did you see the freeze frames of, like, obviously from the South Africans, of all the other games with worse tackles than that? Like, clear head contact and nothing happened with it. You look at that clear out from the French on the Fijian player. You look at a tackle, who was it in the England and New Zealand game? Nothing. Didn't even look at it, right? Clear head contact, whatever. Right? Like, I'm not calling for those to be sent off or anything. I'm just trying to give perspective of tackles that were the same as ours, but ours got penalized. And then you get this thing where people talk about South Africans like to blame a ref. And then and I get it, right? Like, we do talk about a ref a lot. I'm not going to be hypocritical. But then you look at situations like that and you're thinking, how can we not? And by the way, everyone talks about a ref. Everyone talks about a ref after a lost game. Right, but obviously people harp on about South Africans doing it. But then you look at decisions like that and you think, well, how can we not bring up a ref in a conversation? Because that is just blatantly wrong. And then you get other decisions in the same game that they just do nothing about. Like, it is an utter joke.
Yeah, and it's just, every fan base just bring up the refs, and rightly so for most of them. I just want to say, I don't think the World Rugby is out to get South Africa and send them off.
No, I don't think so either. No, I agree.
Which I see some fans right, but I think it's just unfortunate South Africa had like the two biggest ones in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, there's been so many incidents, not just South Africans, in this Autumn Nation Series. Just like, what is that? Like, just the Ty Bird one, for example.
Yeah. Anyway, let's actually talk about the game, because there were some talking points about the game, because Italy came out to play. They were very good and they really put the pressure on us. You could see the chink in our armor in terms of the chemistry not really flowing like it needed to. I don't understand why we play this 60-minute game of kicking and then switch over to the running rugby. Obviously, you can say 14 men, South Africa, we had to switch up our game. But we'll take the victory. But I want to give credit to Italy for a standout performance. Now, from your perspective, in terms of watching that game, what did you think about the South African performance after going down to 14 men again and kind of fighting against a bit of the controversy and then getting a comfortable victory in the end?
No, it's just a great, thorough performance. Again, probably the depth of your squad coming through again. Like, to win a 14 is awesome, but then you win with 14 really in the last 20 minutes. Like the subs you can bring on is just brilliant. Sort of the physicality you can always revert to. I mean, Marco van Staden, he's a dirty player, but he's a physical player, and he's causing a bit of mayhem at the breakdowns. Italy did tried nicely. They kept going for the penalty kicks, but they did try also a few attacking moves. That one try from Caporzo, that was really nicely worked. Clearly pre-planned because Rugby changed last second, and then Caporzo runs on the inside line. So maybe they noticed something in the Bok defence there. But yeah, I mean, overall, just a great win for South Africa, because that's not an easy place to go, Italy.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah,
not if they come out to play. Like they probably had the physical upper hand. That's the reason why we had to make changes after like 21 minutes and 30 minutes. We subbed both props, right? So obviously, ballsy moves from Rassie to do that. Boan Venter will probably be feeling like he's playing himself out of the Springbok jersey, but it's whatever. We'll take that victory. I'm very happy Ethan Hooker got onto the score sheet finally after all these games. But I told people to get their stocks early. Damian Willems is the best player in the world.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Anyway, let's move on. Ireland versus Australia. Dominant.
Australia just so soft right now. Those first two tries, Matt Hansen, an Aussie, he just walks under the post, and it's the exact same move twice in a row. Like, you got to fix that. Man.
How much do you think of that performance from Ireland? Because they looked good and they were clinical. How much do you think they needed that performance going into this next game at the Aviva, taking on the Springboks?
I guess a bit. I mean, I think Prendergast played really well in attack. I think we've given him a bit of stick in the last year on this sort of podcast thing. So, giving his credit, he played really well. Still can't tackle, but he sort of ran the show really.
He should have got a red as well. That tackle on James O'Connor, by the way. There you go. There's an example for you.
I can't remember that one, but he did a couple of nice line breaks, set things up. They just played really nicely. I think they're more physical than the Australians, and the backs are flowing nicely. So I just don't understand Australia, man. I want to kind of buy into that they look tired narrative, but they shouldn't be. So maybe they're just focused too much in the summer, and they haven't put enough prep in some of these northern team matchups. I don't know.
See, it's kind of an argument that can go two ways, right? Like, you can say this was a dumbed down Australian team, and they will obviously be better when they have all their players. But in the same breath, I kind of want to say that that's almost more to a credit to Ireland, because there's a lot of those Australian players that want to use this opportunity to put their name out there, to say that we're going to represent the Wallabies next year, and they want to perform. And they just got smoked. All ends up. Like, everything that could have gone the Irish way went the Irish way. And it was just a great performance by Ireland. And if I look at that, I'm like, well, you add that to the bit of feistiness that there's already in the game between the two of us. Maybe that's the confidence that they needed. It just sets up a proper spectacle.
Yeah, I think James O'Connor and Nikitau, they looked a lot better in attack with those two there. Suwali already had a bit more impact, I think, in his carrying. But yeah, they had a couple of nice moments, I think, Australia, and there was a few times where their attack, they just didn't really put points on the board. But in the defence, the Irish, it was just too easy for them. It was so free flowing, which we've not seen from Ireland in quite a while. So in that respect, I think you're probably right. It does set it up nicely for the big sort of crunch game next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still backing our boys. We'll get it done. We'll get this little hoodoo off our back, not beating
Yeah.
them in about
Mhm.
10 years in Ireland. We need it. We need it. I'm not
You-
even going to say that the Springbok fan, we can't sugarcoat it. We need this victory. It's a rivalry. I want it to be a rivalry. I enjoy the rivalry. I enjoy the Irish fans. I think they're some of the best fans in the world in terms of passion. Like, they remind me of how we are, right? Like, very passionate about their team. So yeah, I enjoy the little banter that we have with the Irish. So I'll give the Irish their credit, but we're coming for you next week, and I won't hold back. And if we lose, there won't be an episode. That's basically the crux
are, you-
of
are
it.
you are you Springbok fans hoping for a red card?
No, obviously not. This is the Lulu land, right? Obviously, we should be switched on from the get go. Like, it's but we're playing better with the red card. So
Yeah.
I don't know. What I'm just hoping for as a Springbok fan is that we can put up an 80-minute performance of actual intent. Like, it feels like we've got a bit of a lack of intent at the moment at the start of the games. And I just want to get away from the kicking game and have that nice balanced game that we've shown in both the French and the um, what's it Italian game, where we actually want to run the ball. You saw that in the game when we played New Zealand after the Eden Park test. We ran the ball from the start and we just dominated that game. So why not just keep doing that and have the team stop that instead of us kind of making 50-50 air balls where
Yeah.
we try and get it back and then it feels like a counter attack. Anyway, I don't want to be too harsh on my team. Just kind of something that I wanted to point out. But I'm very excited about that team, and I was seriously impressed by Ireland. Final one that we need to talk about: the
Final one.
most Scottish performance you will see in your life.
Mate, what a game. What a comeback this
Yes.
was. I was going crazy. I was on TikTok live and I was pretty out of it for the first 50 minutes because it was just sort of a bit boring. But then what a comeback from Argentina. Santi Carreras, he's got to be one of the most underrated players in the world. His goal kicking, okay, he missed one or two, but overall, he's one of the best goal kickers in the world. But
His play was fantastic as well.
What's that?
His style of play was also fantastic.
That's what I say. He came on, he just changed the game like a ball in hand. Like Prishkin Telly's a bit of a less experienced 10, but he's good. He's got good potential, but he struggled a little bit against Scotland here. But yeah, Santi Carreras just come on and he just changed everything. Their attack looked more flowing. But Scotland just fell apart, man. They were playing really nice stuff in the first half. Finn Russell was running the show. That no-look pass to Dempsey for the try was just awesome. But yeah, I mean, Argentina bottled a few chances in the first half. They had a couple of clear-cut ones, but and in the second half at the start. But that comeback, that is one of the best comebacks I think I've seen in a long time.
Where do you go as a Scottish fan? And I know there's a lot of Scots. Richie, you're out here in the comments. Well, where do you go from this 21-0 up and then losing that game? Like, that is crazy to think about. Like, we spoke about this last week, and I backed Scotland to get the victory. And at 21-0 up, I was about to banter you guys, right? 21-0. Are you kidding me? And then from there, having nothing in the game, Argentina got over the line comfortably in the end, by the way, right? And this is the games that we spoke about. For Scotland to turn a page, they have to win these games. And I don't want to bash Argentina because obviously they're not the same. It's not same old Argentina. But Scotland need victories like this. If you get so close to getting over the line against New Zealand, take some of that confidence into the Argentinian game. And they did for 50 minutes. And then totally switched off. They had done to themselves what they did to New Zealand. Just kind of played themselves out of the game. And Argentina, we spoke about how clinical they are, destroyed them.
Yeah. A clear issue with sort of the Scottish squad and they're sort of managing the final 20 minutes or so because the same thing happened as last week. You know, it was the other team came back into it and they made a couple of subs, brought on big players like Mackenzie last week, Santi Carreras this week, and it changed the game. And Maybe Scotland are lacking that depth in the squad, but they talked about it. I think they had three unused subs. One of them including like Tom Jordan. You got like 10 seconds, but like that's pretty much unused. And it's like that's some quality players. That's some fresh players. Maybe Gregor Townsend should be putting more trust in those players. Get the job done. Maybe like how Rassi and Borthwick in particular have done this year. And obviously he's going to come under a lot of pressure now because you should not be losing from 21-0 up at home with 25 minutes to go. So what do you think on Gregor Townsend?
I think he's been backed so much. And I don't think he's a bad coach. But if you've been backed so much and you've got the players and all those type of things, like you look at their team, their starting 15 can compete with most teams in the world. You look at, they've built on their squad depth. Like Tom Jordan is a quality player. So to bring him off the bench, that's a luxury, right? And they just don't, they're just not doing it. And at some point, you got to draw the line and say, well, enough's enough. We have to make change. Like Gregor, you've been a great advocate for us, but we have to try something else. And I think the time is now, right? Like if they pull the trigger now, they're giving themselves enough time to still build for 2027 World Cup. Because the players are there, the talent's there, so you can't really blame the players.
Yeah, I kind of agree, which is it's a shame because I like Gregor Townsend, but the performances, it's happening too many times and they're just not beating big enough teams. Like they have the quality to do it. I'm not expecting them to be a top 2, top 3 team, but they've got to be beating some of these top 5 teams at least somewhat regularly. But I don't think they will. They just extended him until 2027. He's going to do the World Cup. So unless they want to pay him out, I think he'll be staying in. Interestingly, they've just moved down to 9th in the world rankings. So they're just like a point and a bit ahead of Italy. And Italy, they're playing in Rome in the Six Nations this year. So we might see Scotland drop down to 10th in a couple of months.
Yeah, interesting. Who's Scotland playing next weekend?
Tonga. They can't take points off Tonga.
Yeah. Who's Italy playing?
Italy can't take points off Chile, so it's not going to move next week.
Oh, okay, fair enough. People, that wraps it up. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. We do appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time. Please do remember to go show Jake some love on his TikTok and his YouTube. He's always live for the games as well, so go and banter him a bit there, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.